Today, these two area teams will compete against one another to advance in this academic tournament. It's Portage and it's Hobart, and it's coming up on Making the Grade.
For over 30 years, Chester Information Technologies has assisted school administration and faculty with technology needs to better help their students make the grade. More information at chesterinc.com.
Welcome once again to Season 4 of Making the Grade. I'm your host, Tavis Buchan. This is the academic tournament where these two area schools and their team of students compete against one another for the bragging rights, the trophies, and scholarship money courtesy of NIPSCO. We have Portage and we have Hobart. We are going to meet our students just a little bit later in the game. But first, let's begin. Let's try to get some points on the board. Are you guys ready? All right, we have a studio audience as well. So good luck to you. We're going to start with question and answer. I ask the question, you attempt to answer it correctly. No talking amongst yourselves. Buzz in when you're ready. I will address you and then do your best. Here we go. The pronoun who can be used as a subject when talking about people, but is never used as the object of a preposition or indirect object. In those cases, what four-letter word? And Tep from Portage.
Whom?
Whom is correct, yes. And Portage is first on the board. We continue. Nearly all of it was burned while the French were invading it in 1812. Name this city that grew from its original Abigail from Hobart.
Washington, D.C.
Not Washington, D.C. That is incorrect. Remember, there are no penalties for incorrect answers. We're going to go over to Portage. I will finish the question. Nearly all of it burned while the French were invading it in 1812. Name this city that grew from its original fortress, the Kremlin, into what has been since 1917. Cody from Portage.
Moscow.
Moscow is correct, yes. All right, let's continue. He campaigned as the man from Hope because of his birth in Hope, Arkansas. Named as former U.S. president whose wife and Tep from Portage.
Bill Clinton.
Bill Clinton is correct, yes, Tep. And we continue, we have a score right now of Portage leading by 15. Here we go, lots of time. The official names of its 5 major zones all contain the suffix pelagic. Name this area that compromises more than half of the surface of the earth. And Matt from Portage.
The crust?
Not the crust. You do have a chance to counter, Hobart. Buzz in. And Nolan from Hobart.
Ocean?
That's right, yeah. Always helps the guest, right? All right, we continue. It contains a house where labor leader John L. Lewis once lived and the tomb of Abraham Lincoln. Named this city where Barack Obama first announced he would run for president, which is also the capital of Illinois. And Matt from Portage.
Springfield.
Springfield is correct, yes. We resume. It gives individual states sovereign immunity from being sued by foreigners. Identify this First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution that was passed after the Bill of Rights. What's the amendment? And Tep from Portage.
The 11th Amendment?
The 11th Amendment is correct, yes. All right. Cellulose and chitin are both inedible examples of it. Give the general term for this substance defined in nutrition as foods like breakfast cereal. And Nolan from Hobart.
Carbohydrates.
Yeah, that's right. Carbohydrates is correct. It means a round object in Japanese. After World War II, its value was fixed until the U.S. went off the gold standard. Now, 80 of them are worth about $1 US. And Cody from Portage.
The yen?
The yen is correct, yes. All right, moving on. Steps for installing one of these devices in your house include cutting a new hole, connecting everything up, and then adding its lights and blades last. Give the 2-word term for this household device. Mason from Portage.
Ceiling fan?
Ceiling fan is correct. Yes, and that concludes the first round, question and answer. Still lots of game left. Let's take a moment to meet the class. We will meet the students now. And let's go ahead and begin with Portage. And we have Matt. Matt, good job so far.
Thank you.
You are a senior at Portage, and you mentioned earlier that you have been to a luau before.
Yes, it was in Maui.
Yeah.
I got to go there. That was
Makes
a lot of
sense.
fun.
Yeah.
And there was actually a pork roast. I had mahi-mahi for the first time. Oh, I
Yeah,
hit the button. I
that's
didn't
all
use
right. We'll take care of that.
But yeah, it was a blast. And I played, it was like caveman bowling.
Did you wear a grass skirt?
Almost.
All right, next time. We have Cody, you're a senior. Cody, you play guitar.
Yep.
You have been a part of Making the Grade before,
Yeah,
right?
I was here last year.
Yeah, when are you gonna bring your guitar?
I don't know, man. I probably should have brought it this year. I mean, I'm not very good, though, so
Electric or acoustic?
mostly electric.
Okay. All right, we have Mason. Mason, you are also a senior. You are a dual citizen. I'm guessing America.
Yes.
And what else?
Great Britain.
Great Britain. How?
They have a law that if a parent is from Great Britain, the child can also become a
Nice.
parent of a citizen of
Have you
Great Britain,
been?
not a parent. Yes, a few times to see my family.
All right. All right, we have Tep. Hey, Tep, how you doing? You are a senior, and you can solve a Rubik's Cube.
I can.
First of all, a lot of people can't, period, but
It's easier than it looks, Travis.
it's all right. It's tennis. It's okay. Everybody gets one. Everybody gets one. All right, and so you
Learned it from YouTube.
really YouTube? Okay, how fast can you do it?
Good day. 1 minute.
1 minute. That's pretty impressive. All right, thanks, Tep. And of course, Portage is coached by Kathy Nye. And now let's move over to Hobart. Hey guys, so we've got Nolan. Nolan, you are a senior. You have an arsenal of science jokes. Can you give me one?
Yes, I can.
All right.
OMG, oxygen and magnesium just got together. Oxygen first asked potassium, or sodium, but it was nah. Then he asked potassium, K, but it didn't work out. Something about bad chemistry.
All right. Okay. Oh, we have Alexis. Alexis, you are a senior, and I know you're a singer,
Yes, I am.
and you have a certain talent. You can sing in a chipmunk voice. Can
I
you
can.
give us a demonstration?
If you are aware of Alvin and the Chipmunks, what song would you like to hear?
You pick.
Okay, I'm gonna do some CeeLo, Forget You, if that's cool. Okay. I saw you driving around town with the girl I love, and I'm like,
Wow, that's great. Abigail. Abby, you are a senior. You also play guitar.
I do. A
We
bit.
get a little band together. Wow, we got chipmunks singing, guitars. What kind of style you like to play mostly?
Oh, I pretty much just like to find like my own songs, like whether country or soft rock, just like anything on acoustic.
You try anything original?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Haven't tackled that yet.
You'll get there. All right, and we have Trisha. Trisha, you are a senior. You are bilingual, so we've learned that you speak English today. What's the other language?
Tagalog.
What is that?
It's Filipino.
Oh, wow. Can you give us a demonstration? Say, coming up next on Making the Grade in Filipino.
Pupunta na ay coming. Is it making the grade?
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, and we have Hobart, which is coached by John Brumley. Thanks for being here, coaches. All right, let's move on, okay? Lots of games still to come. Now, this is Class Project, all right? If you've played before, you know that we are going to go down the line. So it's one-on-one. Tep, if you were to buzz in, get it incorrect, it would go over to Trisha for a chance to counter. Right now, Portage leads 35-10. Let's resume. The majority of its residents are spread out over more than 900 islands, including Java and Sumatra. Name this Asian nation that, like the U.S., has a separate territory containing its capital city, Jakarta. Tep from Portage.
Is it Malaysia?
Not Malaysia, which means, Trisha, you do have a chance to counter.
Is it Indonesia?
Indonesia is correct, yes. Wait, can you buzz in for me? Let's do this properly. Trisha!
Indonesia.
Yeah! All right. We go down the line. Abigail and Mason. Okay. It wasn't finally abolished in Russia until 1861. Name this form of slavery that tied Mason from Portage. Serfdom is correct, yes. All right, we're moving down the line. We have Cody and Alexis. Jazz greats who played it include Art Tatum and Count Basie. Name this popular instrument not included in a wind ensemble, but often used with a symphony orchestra or with a school choir. What is the Cody from Portage?
Is it a clarinet?
It is not the clarinet. No. So, Alexis, you do have a chance. You can guess what is the instrument.
Saxophone.
Hold on real quick, Alexis, go ahead.
Saxophone.
Saxophone's incorrect. It is actually piano. It's piano, okay? We're going to keep moving down the line. We have Nolan and Matt now. All right. The novels Midnight Children, The God of Small Things, The Kite Runner, and Dream of the Red Chamber were all written by authors who were born on what continent? We're looking for the continent. Matt from Portage.
Europe.
It is not Europe. Nolan, you do have a chance to counter. You can take a guess. Buzz in first for me. All right, Nolan from Hobart.
Asia.
Asia's correct, yeah. Yeah, you knew that, Trisha? Yeah. All right. Okay, we're coming back up front. Here we have Trisha and Tep again. Give the geometry term for the half line that looks like a regular line except for its one end point. What is that term? Tep from Portage.
Ray.
Ray is correct. Yes, that's right, Tep. All right, moving on. From the Greek, we have Abigail and Mason. From the Greek for book writing, give the word whose enumerative type is the one you put at the end of a research paper because it's a list of all the works you read and or quoted in order to write the paper. Okay? What is that term? And Mason from Portage.
Works cited?
No, that is incorrect. So, Abigail, go ahead. You buzzed in. Take a guess.
Citation?
Not citation. That's a good guess. Bibliography. Bibliography, okay? We move on. It was dedicated by U.S. President Chester A. Arthur and New York Governor Grover Cleveland in 1883. Identify this architectural wonder engineered by Washington Roebling that connects two boroughs of New York City. Cody from Portage.
The Manhattan Bridge?
Not the Manhattan Bridge. Alexis, you do have a chance to counter. You can go ahead and buzz in for me first.
Okay.
Go ahead, Alexis from Hobart.
The Lincoln Tunnel.
No, not the Lincoln Tunnel. The Brooklyn Bridge. It's Brooklyn Bridge, all right? We're going down. We have Nolan and Matt. It can mean to attend a party without an invitation or to cause a computer program to stop working. Give this 5-letter word. And Nolan from Hobart.
Crash.
Crash is correct, yeah. Crash is correct. So we're coming back up. We have Tep and Trisha, and this will be the final question, okay? It contains 14 mountains with height of at least 14,000 feet, including Mount Blackburn. Name this U.S. state that is America's farthest west, farthest north, and largest by land area. Trisha from Hobart.
Alaska.
Alaska is correct, yes. And that is the end of that round. We've got a pretty close game right now. Right now, we have Portage leading 45-30, and now we're going to move on to the next round, which is the quiz, all right? This is the pop quiz. This is where you can get together, okay? Show some teamwork here. You can talk amongst yourselves, and what we're going to do is go through these different categories, okay? We have social studies, we have science and math, we have literature, and language arts. We're going to go ahead and start with the toughest clue to the answer, which is worth 30 points. Okay? Go ahead and talk amongst yourselves. Buzz in when you are ready. Let's begin with social studies. All right, for 30 points. She once said, I know I have the body of a weak and feeble woman, but I have the heart and stomach of a king. Who are we talking about here? Talk amongst yourselves. Go ahead and buzz in. We are on the clock. All right, so we're going to go ahead and now move. Oh, Cody, I'm going to go to the judge for this. Did Cody make it in before the buzzer? I believe you were just after. Oof. Just after. Okay, that's all right. We're going to move on. So we have, for 20 points now, here's your next clue. Referred to as Gloriana by Edmund Spenser in his poem The Faerie Queen, her reign coincided with the English Renaissance and the rise of Shakespeare. And Abigail from Hobart.
Elizabeth the First.
All right, yep, there you go. Yes, Queen Elizabeth I. All right, we're done with social studies. We're going to go ahead and move on to science and math, all right? This is for 30 points. Here's your first clue for 30 points. He figured out how to create a perfect 17-sided figure with only a ruler and a compass. Go ahead and talk amongst yourselves. Who are we talking about? You're on the clock. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move on now to, no, you didn't get it there, Matt. We're going to go on to the 20-point clue. Here we go. Before that, he found that the sum of all numbers from 1 to 100 is 50 times 101 by adding 1 plus 100, 2 plus 99, and so on. Who are we talking about? Go ahead and buzz in if you... Tep from Portage, you want to take a guess?
Pascal?
Not Pastel, no, not Pastel. So you do have a chance to counter now, Hobart. This is the 20-point clue. Nolan, you just buzzed in. What's your answer?
Grouse.
No, that is incorrect. That is incorrect. Okay, let's go ahead. We still got a 10-point clue. Here we go. Identify this German mathematician who lent his name to the so-called normal distribution or bell-shaped curve used by Nolan. Don't break the buzzers, students. Nolan from Hobart.
Grouse.
That's what you just said. But it's not grouse. It's not grouse. Okay, so Matt from Portage.
Gauss.
Gauss. It's Gauss, all right? I hate it when people add an R to my name, too. You know what I'm talking about, Tep. All right. Let's move on to literature and language arts, okay? For 30 points. Here's your 30-point clue. Its minor characters include the next-door neighbor Charlie and Charlie's son Bernard, who is more successful than either son of its main character. Who are we talking about? This will be your final question here. Matt from Portage.
Is it flowers for Algernon?
It is not, so this will be the final chance to counter here. What are we talking about? Go ahead and buzz in. You're on the clock if you want to guess. Abigail from Hobart.
Great Expectations.
No, not Great Expectations. Death of a Salesman. Death of a Salesman. All right, that includes the pop quiz. We got a close game here. We've got Portage leading 55 to 50. This is where you can really rack up the points, okay? This is now final exam. All right, final exam. Hobart, you have control of the board. As you can see, the categories are there on the monitor. What would you like?
World history.
World history. All right, let's go with world history for 10 points. Now, no more talking amongst yourself. World history for 10 points. Buzz in when you think you know the answer. This British monarch, now considered a defender of the Anglican faith he began, got a divorce from Catherine of Aragon. Cody from Portage.
King George VIII.
Not King George VIII. And Abigail from Hobart, you have an opportunity.
King Henry VIII.
King Henry VIII is correct. Yes. Okay. You retain control of the board. We can go on with world history for 15 points, or we can switch it up.
Okay, world history 15.
World history for 15 points. This Central European country was peacefully taken over by the Nazis in 1938, just before World War II. Abigail from Hobart.
Poland?
Not Poland. Mason from Portage. You have a chance.
Austria.
Austria is correct. Yes. All right. Now you have control of the board, Portage.
World history for 20.
All right. World history for 20 points now. This freedom fighter of the 19th century lends his name to the national currency of Venezuela. Buzz in if you think you know it. Who was this freedom fighter? All right, that is Simon Bolivar. Simon Bolivar, okay? There is the answer. You still have control of the board since no one got it correct. All right, we're going to keep going. Is that what I'm hearing? Yep. All right, world history for 25 points. This large area of Asia gets its name from the other name for China's Qing dynasty. This large area of Asia gets its name from the other name for China's Qing dynasty. Any guesses? Nope, no guesses. Manchuria, okay? We've got about 5 minutes left in the game. That's a lot of time. Portage leads 70-60. Portage, you still have control of the board. We can finish off the category or switch it up.
Finish it off.
All right, world history for 30 points. The golden age of ancient Athens ended with the death of this Athenian statesman. And Cody from Portage.
Pericles.
Pericles is correct, yes. We are done with world history. All right, go ahead and pick another category.
Let's go mythology for 10.
All right, mythology for 10. Here we go. This one-horned creature is said to have been captured by men while asleep. Cody from Portage.
Would that be the unicorn?
That is the unicorn. Yes, for 10 points. You have control of the board.
Keep it going.
Keep it going. Mythology for 15 now. She warned against keeping the Trojan horse, but was cursed to have no one believe her. Who is she? And Cody from Portage.
Is it Helen of Troy?
It is not Helen of Troy. You do have a chance to counter, Hobart. It is worth a guess if you could buzz in. You're on the clock. No guesses? Cassandra. Okay? So, Portage, you still have control of the board.
Keep on rolling.
Keep going. Mythology 420. This sculptor, who vowed never to marry, created a perfect woman, then fell in love with his creation. Any guesses? Abigail from Hobart.
Michelangelo.
Not Michelangelo. This is mythology. And any guesses from Portage here? Any guesses? You're on the clock. Not a clue. All right. Pygmalion. All right. Okay. You still have control of the board, Portage.
Keep it going.
Keep going. Mythology for 25. After he was told that he would be removed from his throne by his own son, this god swallowed several of his children right after. Cody from Portage.
That'd be Kronos.
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that?
Kronos?
I'm going to go ahead and go to the judges on this. I'm going to have to wait to hear a noise. What are we going with? All right, there we go. We've got Cronus or Kronos. All right? That's why we have the judge. All right, so you can finish it off for 30. Okay, here we go. Mythology for 30. This major literary source of Norse mythology allegedly has an elder or poetic version that served as a source for the younger or prose version compiled in the 13th century by Snorri Sturluson. Who is it? This major literary source of Norse mythology. And Matt from Portage?
The sagas?
No. Nope. You do have a chance to counter, Hobart. We've got about 2 minutes left in the game. Any guesses at all? No? No guesses. All right, that is time. It was Edda. Was Edda, all right? So that wraps up mythology, and Portage, you still have control of the board.
Let's go people in the news for 10.
People in the news for 10. Here we go. This Republican U.S. Senator officially renounced his dual citizenship with Canada, a step toward possibly a 20. Nolan from Hobart.
Ted Cruz.
Ted Cruz, you're back in it, Hobart. All right, you've got control of the board. We can continue with people in the news or switch it up.
Let's stick with people.
Let's keep going.
People in the news for 15 points. This Florida man was acquitted of manslaughter and second-degree murder in the shooting death of Trayvon Martin. Mason from Portage.
George Zimmerman.
George Zimmerman is correct. George Zimmerman. Yes, you have control of the board now, Portage. Keep going. People in the news for 20. This American soldier was given 35 years in prison for providing classified material to WikiLeaks. Mason from Portage.
Snowden?
Not Snowden. No, you have a chance to counter, Hobart. What would your guess be? Any guesses? It was Bradley Manning or Chelsea Manning. Okay?
What?
All right. This is the last question here. Here we go. You have control of the board. We can either keep going. People in the news for 25. This former CIA employee was called a traitor by some and a hero by others for leaking Cody from Portage.
This one's Edward Snowden.
This one's Edward Snowden. Keep guessing enough times, you'll get it. That is at the end of final exam and the game. So we do have our winner. We have Portage taking the lead, 175-70. Great game, a lot of fun. Hobart, thank you so much. And Portage, you advance. We'll see you next time on Making the Grade.
For over 30 years, Chester Information Technologies has assisted school administration and faculty with technology needs to better help their students make the grade. More information at chesterinc.com.